Welcome back to Age of Rebellion Galactic Youth Campaign. I'm Mike, and I'm going to be your GM this evening. And last time on Galactic Youth.
I'm all for the Empire. A wink.
Caw! I don't know that I trust Aaron.
I don't know if I trust Aaron either. So you're eventually brought back to the cell, and the rest of the day continues to go on without any type of issue. Nobody is pulled back into the lieutenant's office today.
Ooh.
Later on that evening, a very familiar cycle seems to take place where the loudspeaker comes on and tells you you have an hour for your meal, for rations time.
An hour? Is it the same voice?
Excuse me.
20 minutes?
You have 20 minutes for your rations time, and it's approximately an hour before your cell door slides open. I'm trying to get everything put back together here. I have to skip over a few notes. Anyway, similar to the day before, there's a lone human sitting there just at a table, and he catches you guys' eyes as you're walking down the catwalk past the bench table that he's sitting at. And he kind of nods and points to the table, realizing you guys still have to stop and get your food. And as you run through the line, grab your food, there's a few other benches that are open. So I'm going to open this back up to you guys. What would you like to do?
Toss! Mind if we sit?
Help yourself.
How's your day? What do you do all day?
What do you do all day?
I sit around.
Well, I do push-ups.
Oh. We recommend Jack do push-ups.
It's good for you.
Ah.
It's good advice. Do it. It'll help you put a beat down on some of these people.
Speaking of beatdowns, where's that lieutenant? He seems to have not called us at all.
Oh, you guys haven't gotten into the cycle. Oh, he gave you his day starting one speech, right? The, I'll see you tomorrow, and the day after, and the day after that, right?
Yeah.
Do you really think he's going to pay attention to everybody on a cell block? Are you just that naive?
He just might be that crazy.
He said I made his day.
Well, if this young man over here, this Jack character that you're talking about, is as hot-headed as I am, he kind of laughs at that. Oh, he'll see him more often than not, but you'll probably only see the lieutenant once a week.
Do they have tea around here?
What is with you and this tea?
I do not think they have luxuries for us.
Well, I'm sure we can find some leaves of something and, we can run some hot water through a sock. Let's see what happens.
Isn't there always someone on the inside that gets stuff, you know? I know
You've
there's
been
always
watching
someone.
too many prison holograms.
Maybe so. Maybe so.
Yes.
Yeah, around here, the person that gets you stuff is the guard, and it's usually not what you want.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay.
Well.
He gets you a stun baton.
It's a trip back to the lieutenant, or the interrogation room, or solitary confinement, or you don't want to know the rest of them.
Yeah, that's probably a long, strange trip I don't want.
So, did you guys give any thought to my offer yesterday?
How would we do it?
I'm always looking for a party.
I'm offering to get out of here, not party.
It's a party in itself.
Yeah. Could be a party.
Well, I'll give you a few details, and you guys can mull over them. Maybe you might be able to help me improve upon them a little bit, but just if it's kind of something like this. I'm going to get one of these guys, somebody that's over here, to start us a little bit of a distraction. Can't tell you what that distraction's going to be because I don't know yet.
A prison riot. That's all the holocrons. They got a prison riot.
Well, problem with the prison riot is down there stormtroopers sitting across the way. Those guys,
Whatever
They
it
ain't
knows, they
firing.
can't hit anything.
they ain't firing stun bolts this time.
Oh, yeah. They weren't firing that at the celebration either.
Yeah, how'd that go?
Not good.
All right.
Not good at all.
I don't know about you, but I'd like to get out of here. So maybe we can have a couple guys start an argument over here that the guards that are here deal with. and get distracted. We'll have to find out what pisses some of these people off.
Jack?
Funny you should mention Jack. There's a reason why I keep looking at this young man. He seems to be smaller than the rest of you. You ain't fitting nowhere. This little guy, he might be able to get exactly where we need him to get. So that's kind of the interesting part here is, you know, Doss has been around for a while and seen, you know, a few trips up and down this catwalk. Don't know if the rest of y'all noticed, but every so often between the cells there's a small vent. Haven't figured out how to get into those vents yet. You got this magnetic lock sitting over them.
We might be able to help with that.
Really?
Yeah.
I just happen to have something
Really?
that might work.
Don't.
Yeah, no. You're right.
He's cutting you a sideways glance like,
Yeah.
He's trying to size you up at the moment.
Old Jack acquired it for us.
Oh, really?
For himself, I think, but
What else is little Jack there acquired?
paperclip.
You're kind of being quiet there, Jack, for this ball of terror that they keep telling me you are. Jack kind of pipes back up and goes, yeah, they keep telling me to shut up, too. Every time I turn around, somebody's kicking my butt.
Something like that. He doesn't know when to shut up is the problem.
I got the same problem. Like it, kid. I'll tell you what. Maybe if we can get that distraction to kick off, we can do it about the same time frame as you guys are walking back over to your cell. You'll be passing by one of those events and their eyes won't be on you because the moment anything starts, those troopers are going to look over here.
So we open the vent. We're unlocking, is what you're saying?
And then that wee one right there, Jack, he kind of crawls through that vent. Heads over to Lieutenant's office.
He kicks his ass.
No, but I'll tell you what there is in there. He has a bad tendency to be a little overconfident. Last time I was in there and he was giving me the 3rd degree. That young man, he ain't worthless. He didn't threaten anybody. He opened up one of his desk drawers and there's a security card sitting there.
We've already got one.
Oh, you do you?
What are you talking about? What's going on? I got a piece of flam bluff in my throat.
Yeah.
Does yours say all access?
No.
No, that cost extra.
We got the subscription to C 265.
Oh wait, we got a guard walking by here. Let's just kind of, he goes back to eating it. For the guard walks by, a couple seconds later, he looks back at you and goes, well, he's got to be able to get up and down them turbo lifts, and that's the only way that card's going to work. Turbo lifts aren't going to access by something specifically keyed for this floor.
Makes sense.
But that does mean that you guys can get me out of my cell. Because I'll already be back in my cell.
And maybe open up the vent. That's what
We
we're
need to
thinking.
do this tomorrow. We need to do this tomorrow.
Well, hold on. We got to get through the rest of this before you tell me we got to do
Well,
this
hang
tomorrow.
on, maybe not tomorrow, but you are here before us every day.
I also got to arrange for a distraction.
You need to start the distraction.
I ain't getting shot.
Listen, when our doors would open, you need to start the distraction so Jack can have 20 minutes to get the car to get back. Otherwise, they'll notice he's not in the cell.
Good point. But I don't know if that's going to work because they may usher everybody back to their cells when something goes down.
Keep it going for 20 minutes.
That's a long distraction.
That's suicide, young man.
Not for you.
No blaster. Blaster. Suicide.
If he has to shoot you for 20 minutes to kill you, my head is off to you far more than it was, my friend.
Suicide. We're going to circle back on that one because I'm going to put a pin in it.
So what's your plan?
Well, Here's the thing. If Jack can get there, I'm sure sitting on that data pad that he has in there, he can unlock whatever cells, whatever else he needs to. He can turn on sprinkler systems, he can turn on alarms, he can create all kinds of fun stuff on this level. Could be a much broader distraction. But here's the other part of that. When I got arrested, my crew was still here. I'll give him the comlink channel to get a hold of my crew. When we make a break for it, we'll lock down all of the, he needs to bring that data pad back with him that has the open access. We'll lock down all those turbo lifts but 2. We'll send one up and one down. We're going to go to the roof where my crew will meet us after sending them a message. They'll pick us up, fly straight off this rock, and we'll never have to look back again.
Sounds easier said than done.
Sounds like a great plan.
We gotta get off this rock. I'm not ready to.
But I know you ain't going to fit in that. I know you're not going to fit in there. And I'm sorry, you ain't fitting anywhere.
Too tall. Way too tall.
Plus, he doesn't look like the squeezing type.
Now the only thing that I'm going to have a problem with is getting that thing off your neck.
You tried earlier?
Because who knows if they got a homing beacon put into that thing.
No.
It is a prison collar after all.
I think if I can get a hold of a power supply of some type, I can get it off his neck.
Let me see what I can do, and we'll next time we meet for a meal, I'll see if there's something I can provide for you.
That would be awesome.
That'd be great.
Don't count on it. So if you can find your own power supply, make it happen.
We'll be working on that. But the band has to rock.
We gotta rock.
And it's about that time where conversation kind of dies back down, and he gets escorted back over to his cell, and 15 minutes later, you guys are asked to go, or told, not asked, you're voluntold to go back to your cell. And that night, when the lights go out, everybody's calmed back down, everybody's sitting and relaxing, everybody's kind of drifting off to sleep. You begin to have a dream.
Who does?
That would be AA Ron. Your mind, you keep focusing on that crystal. You keep looking at it going, last time I looked at this, I kept seeing cliffs. There was other stuff going on. And it's like, it's a restless kind of sleep. Mm-hmm. You're tossing, you're turning, you're really not getting it. But the crystal's not leaving your hand. You're doing everything but rubbing it and saying, my precious. So.
Lick it.
He said everything.
Everything.
Your mind keeps flashing back to those smoky kind of images of standing on a cliff and looking down and seeing a newborn infant swaddled, laying there on the ground in front of you. You're asleep, but for what most people would understand, it's like being in a lucid dream. There's vibrant colors. They're just whirling all around you, so it's hard to focus. There's noise, almost sounds like wind blowing around you, what you would expect to hear, coming wind across a canyon kind of thing. And at this point, you get to that moment again. You've pulled back through space. You're pulled back through time. You've seen the progression of all the images that you saw before, where you were a young child and a middle-aged child, somewhere around 8 or 9 years old, all the way up to where you are now, and then up into the future, and you see this. You see this image again, where you're now standing on these cliffs, And this time, you're hearing muffled voices from behind you. And at that moment, you start to try and turn around. And when you turn around, you see what looks like an office. A very extravagant office behind you. And only the very edges are kind of faded at this point. And you feel like you're there. You're in the middle of this. And you see two figures sitting. One is... one's showing the other one a holo projector. It's an older figure and a younger figure, both male. The older one is pointing at the holo projector, and it's displaying a planetary invasion force that's sitting there. You can see ships in orbit. You can see drop ships dropping down. You can see what looks like communications from soldiers going back and forth. And the older man looks at the younger and says, "Now you see the value of democracy, Padawan. Much like your brethren, the Senate is full of corruption. They delay and they debate. They never take action. While those who need protection fall to the evils, the evils are allowed to run free in this galaxy. Nobody puts them in check. Not the courts, not the Jedi, not the protectors." The younger man's face, you can see, just fills with sadness. And he replies, "But they refused the Republic's help. They said that they were going to remain neutral at all costs. Our fleets are in orbit. They're sitting there. They're willing to aid them while they're being invaded. It's not the Republic's fault. It's not the Jedi's fault. These people, this planet is refusing our help." The older man smiles and shakes his head and says, "Young man, Padawan, there are times when a true leader must do what is right. He must do what's right for his people instead of satisfying his own desires. Those people below, they're dying in their homes. Do you believe they care about their neutrality of their government now? Do you think in this very moment any one of them is neutral? Do you believe they're not begging their leaders to call us for help? The leaders are just too proud to call for the Republic's help? Those fools would rather cling to their power with their final breaths than rely and align with us. So now, they die. It's a cold, hard truth. The Republic, the Jedi, who are sworn to cherish and revere all life, sit here, and they do nothing. Nothing! I'm ashamed to be a senator today. Anakin, you should be ashamed as well to be part of the Jedi Order. To have this power and do nothing is the greatest crime you could commit in life." At that moment, both their heads turn and look directly where you're standing. The old man's face changes, becomes more wrinkled, and his robes shift to black. The younger man's features shift to more of a plastic and mechanical feel. And look, you can hear him breathing, and his breathing becomes more labored. And just then, at that very moment, you're pulled back through space and back through time. And you wake up, and it's just in this startle, cold sweat. And you sit bolt upright in your bunk. I need everybody to make perception checks.
What's
Easy.
difficulty? Easy.
Mm-hmm.
Advantage.
Advantage?
Failed.
Looks like I got 2. Hold on.
How'd you do?
Success and advantage.
Okay.
Looks like I got.
Oh, you
Two
rolled too many.
advantages?
You rolled too many negative
Oh.
dice. Easy is only 1 die.
Oh, okay.
Just re-roll them.
Alright. But the 2 greens? Yes.
Mhm.
Alright. Ho ho! Success and advantage.
Threat.
Threat. Sorry. Yeah.
Okay.
Success and advantage.
All right. So you're startled awake. I'm going to start with the success and the threat. You're kind of startled awake by this because you're in the bunk that is right above his.
Oh.
And as he sits bolt upright, it kind of doesn't shake it, but you can feel where he's like jarred and almost stood up and kind of bumps into your rack, your bunk. And you sit up and kind of smack your head against the ceiling, not realizing how close you are to it.
My tall self. Of course, I'm on the top bunk.
But
The bottom
You-
wouldn't be better.
but he's woken you up. Obviously, you're wide awake and you're frantically. Your success has kind of pulled you back into the moment, as opposed to being just kind of lost, focusing on what's happening. Jack jumps up and goes, "What? Are the buckets head back?" And
just a
Moringa's snoring.
Sound asleep. So I get a strain back.
Yes, you get 2 back because you're resting very peacefully.
Mom.
Just a bad dream, Jack. Don't pay attention to me.
Well, we're in prison, isn't it always a bad dream?
Is everything alright?
This is only my 2nd night. It's not an experience I've had very often. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. All right. Well, guess I'm gonna call it a night back again. And with that,
I want to look at the crystal and see if anything's changed.
nothing has changed
Okay.
on the crystal. Your hand still feels a little warm, though.
Okay.
Ooh.
Next day, lights come back up. And each of you is pulled from the cell and brought back over to Lieutenant Harsgray's office. Various conversations take place. Things are going back and forth with you. You're kind of being a smart aleck back and forth with him. You continue to ask for tea. You deny any and all, interaction with the Empire, and that you were just simply wrong place, wrong time.
I love my plans. That's all. That's one of my plans.
Jack has his customary 1 or 2 hour session and is brought back in an unconscious state.
Jack, my friend.
I would like each of you to make, it's you two, so that would be Thuy and that would be Moringa, to make me a average discipline check with a setback, please. Why
It's
they're
my
resolving that.
absolute worst.
Oh, I understand.
Yeah. Those doors.
And average is 2 purple.
And I succeeded.
And your
Great.
discipline is based
With 2
on your
threat.
willpower, so you have 3 green.
All right. So, you have... I'll wait for his roll.
Hold on. Let me do this real quick.
Oh my gosh. Oh, you got a lot of willpower, don't you?
He's a Thorian.
I got no willpower. I'm a Nautilin.
So I have, let's see here, 3 success and 2 threats.
Okay. So both of you
Yes.
are going to take 2 strain for your threats.
Okay.
However, during your interrogation, you are able to avoid any conversations and topics about Jack's ability to acquire certain materials, or Throsh having conversations with you.
Oh, so that's what the interrogation was. We could have given up the ghost.
You could have given something up. Now, bear in mind, continued interrogations will take place the longer we are in jail or we are in prison. Just for food for thought there. The routine sets in. You know, you kind of all come into this rationalization of this is daily life here at the prison.
So, are there any other musicians in prison?
Not the kind you like.
What do you mean the kind I like?
There's a lot of butt trumpets that you hear at night.
Oh, man.
You have to wiggle in a fart joke somewhere, right? All right. Some have high pitches, some have low pitches. Yeah.
So, do we form a band? We're both musicians, you know. Well, what do you play?
I bust sick rhymes.
And in the interest of time, Star Wars.
Okay.
During Jack's customary 1 or 2 hour sessions, one of these, Jack is brought back in. He's not unconscious. This time, uncharacteristically, he walks into the cell. Not being carried, not being thrown, and they remove binders from him, and he's just like nice and quiet. And then the door slides closed. During those few days, while all this is transpiring, you guys have had your normal daily ration meal, but you have not seen Thross Shill at dinner. And today, Jack comes into the cell quiet. I'm opening this up.
Oh. Jack. Hey, what happened today?
He kind of looks back at the cell door, and you catch him glancing back and forth to the cell door. And he looks back at you, and he goes, well, I kind of got some news. Maybe this will help. He opens his hand, and you see a small power cell.
Ah. And how did you get that?
Well, when the guard was putting me into that chair to talk to the lieutenant again, he put one arm in and he bound that one in, but the lieutenant wasn't looking. So while he did that, the other guard was on the other side of me, and I reached over and I grabbed that little flashlight that he had in the back of it, and was able to sit on it just long enough to where I put my hand back down. And then I kind of, when he was unlocking me, kind of shoved it down my britches here, and was able to get that back out of there. So I think we got a way to get old Dewey's collar off.
But every time you come back.
Well,
you
you told me we needed a power cell.
No, I understand. So you didn't.
What was the worst that was going to happen? I was going to get beat up again?
No. But you didn't get beat up.
I know, they didn't catch me.
Oh, every other time they caught you, that's why you
no,
got beat up?
no. The other times I had to jump him, and of course I'm going to get beat up when I jump him.
Oh.
This time he was standing right next to me.
Oh.
He screwed up.
They don't really have. I'm gonna do a perception check just to see if. I'm concerned he gave something up.
Okay, you can do that.
Not that I have perception, but.
I will give you a 1 rank of red and 1 purple.
And I'm gonna.
You gonna flip one?
Yep.
This light side, dark side pool is really looking in my favor right now.
That's a good thing we're almost done.
Ooh, yeah.
Maybe it's a good thing the Great Escape isn't happening tonight.
I have 1 advantage, and I failed miserably.
You can't tell.
Okay.
You really can't tell whether he's joshing you or not, or whether it just played out the way that he said it played out.
Okay.
You're crafty, Jack. You're crafty.
Yeah, we noticed Boss wasn't at dinner today.
Well, I mean,
It's been
At least-
several days, right?
yeah, it's been several days. He hadn't been there the last couple of days. I don't know what's going on. Maybe something happened with him. You know, he was talking about trying to create a distraction. Maybe something happened there. Maybe somebody turned him in.
So do we go with his plan, or do we?
I mean, if we see him, we can go with his plan. But I mean, why wouldn't we do exactly what he was saying we could do, but we do it for ourselves.
Well, that's what I'm saying. We use his
We
plan.
send a message out to his people, and
But we don't know his people, and his people don't know us.
well, if we see him in the next couple of days, we can probably get that. We can send him in the shaft going up. We don't take the turbo shaft down. We climb down the turbo shaft that he was in, going up, and we access the vents down below. They got to be much bigger than what they are here because we got to have enough circulation and airflow to come into this building.
Yeah, but I've seen every Star Wars, and there's always things that clamp, and spin, and chop.
What's the Star Wars you're talking about?
What is this?
It doesn't matter whether it's Star Wars or Star Trek or...
Look, my dad had connections, and he said if I ever get in trouble, I can radio. He gave me a comlink number, and I can call these people, and they will be there. So all we have to do is tell them where we're going to be, whether it's up on the roof or whether it's down below. But why not use a second distraction and use his people to come into the roof, and we go down?
We set him up.
Well, it's just another distraction. He may make it out. Who says we're setting him up? We're not setting an alarm on him.
That's true. Who says he's even still here?
Best team wins? I mean,
Yeah, and
he said it himself. We can get places he can't get.
I gotta be honest. I think I'm tough, but I don't know if some of these interrogations, I
What?
can't promise you I'm not gonna say so.
All right. He's already told us he's a Mandalorian. He's already told us that he was a pirate, right? That the Empire viewed him as a pirate. What's to say he doesn't put us in his ship, blast on out of here, and then turn and just takes us out to Hut space and slaves us out?
I don't get that feeling. I don't think, but you never know.
The feeling I get right now is that he is not here. We haven't seen him in days. Anything can happen in this prison.
It's true.
It could be something as simple as his schedule was shifted. We don't eat lunch with everybody on C Block.
I mean,
So it's possible that he just is eating lunch at a different time now because they've noticed that we sit at the same table as him.
maybe we can tomorrow at lunch. Maybe we can, if we're gonna do this. Maybe tomorrow when our meal hits, as we're walking by that vent, somebody trips, somebody fall, the first person in line, and then I can open the vent, use the card, get in there, and go do what we got to do.
Because once we start this train rolling, we're on board till the ride ends.
There's no stopping.
We can't.
It's our choice to go out,
Hey.
or it's their choice to take us out.
Stewie, you got the big throat.
The biggest.
That's handy in prison.
Oh, God.
Prison wallets and big throats. Welcome to Tabletop Nerdcast.
Not what I meant to ask. How it would probably hurt you quite a bit, but how far do you think you could,
Bellow.
projectile vomit if you ate 3 of our rations?
What?
The book says short range.
Wait a minute.
Well, it seems like that would cover the cafeteria.
Is that a thing?
I don't know.
I know they can blast their voice, but
They've got
projectile
a very
vomit.
strong. I mean,
He's got.
got a very strong set of lungs and
Right,
vocal
I know, but
Yeah.
the vomit doesn't come out of your lungs.
No, but
The question is
just the diaphragm
can he
and the
force
projection.
himself to vomit on command?
Yeah,
If someone.
how deep that throat is.
Right. And plus, it would come out, right? There's 2 little...
Yep, it's on the sides.
Yeah.
I'm not looking to hurt anybody. I'm looking for a distraction.
Well, just his bellow would be a...
Yes, but
Yeah,
he's
but
not
it's
allowed to do his bellow.
No,
that would
but
spawn blaster
Jack chimes-
fire.
Yeah, Jack chimes back up.
The plan was that
Look,
Jack
look,
would do
if
the
I can get
distraction.
down there.
No, the
his-
plan was that Jack's gone when the distraction happens.
Well, no. Think about it. What what Shill said was that he could start a distraction so I can get into
Yes,
the vent, right?
exactly.
But if the distraction is you guys trip and I crawl into the vent, I can go turn on every alarm like he said in the building.
Okay, so we just trip near the vent and you just run
You
in.
just got to give me just long enough to scan the card, get in the vent, close the gate, and move
So
on.
you two duke it out.
You're
right
the big
there.
one. I need you standing in front of it.
Well.
He is very
He's
strong.
the peacemaker.
I am not exactly strong-based.
So I kick your ass.
You will.
But so what?
But I'm smart enough to
Now-
avoid the fight.
Okay.
If Thros is available at that meal, then while I'm doing this, you just tell him we've already started the plan. Be ready to go.
Deal.
Sounds good.
Do we do it tomorrow? Is that the plan?
Do you want to keep holding on to this stuff, or do you want to use it and go?
Let's go.
We probably should use it.
Now, remember, when everything starts going crazy, you got to short that collar out.
I know, but I'm concerned if I short the collar out, I could short him out too, and then that would be a problem. I almost
I
want
can
to
take
short
it.
the collar out before.
Dewey, if it shorts you out, then you pass out. Are you okay staying?
Oh!
I'm
Listen,
wondering
Jack, if these two want to stay, they can stay. I will come with you.
if we short the collar out.
We just have to hope.
There we go.
Rebellions are made on hope.
Our goal here is not to overthink escape plan, but to follow GM into escape plan.
It's a new hope.
That sounds good.
You will have all kinds of fun within the escape plan.
If GM gives suggestion for escape plan, I think that is the way we should go.
I think so.
Yeah, okay. That next night, you kind of have the exact same dream that plays out in sequence. And again, you're standing there and you are hearing the same conversation with those two individuals. What's not changing in any of this is the front part of that dream. Again, you feel like there's more to this, but you just can't seem to get past it at this point in time. And the next day, when the lights come on, steps can be heard coming down the catwalk first thing in the morning. Moments later, a familiar person is standing in front of that cell, that door. The door slides open and Tennis is standing there.
Mr. Tremaine, it's been a few days.
I figured I'd let you experiment on your own. And I felt the Force moving strongly the last few nights.
The Force.
Don't blink away.
Forgive me.
And guess what? It keeps leading me back to you. These
Perhaps.
ripples I feel keep leading me back to you.
That is interesting.
I think it's time for us to have another chat. Wouldn't you say, Padawan? And this is where we end the session.
All right.
Thanks to you for who has stuck it out this evening with us. I know that was a shorter session. We had a whole lot of prison wallet jokes and deep throat jokes.
And those trumpets.
Yeah, and butt trumpets.
Those butt trumpets.
Butt trumpets. That one's going to be put into our clip, right?
Yep.
So, for those of you that are still around, keep on adventuring.
Have a good one.
Good night.